Hello YouTube, this is Tim at Vince, and today we're going to go over a new game start in the SWLU 1.3.0 release, yet to be released. It's in beta, but I have a feeling it will be coming soon. Things are shaping up quite nicely. One of the big things about Star Wars LU is it includes Alaankwa. In my opinion, one of the big things, because I made Alaankwa, so I'm a little biased there. It also has some pretty cool things that Pearls has added, like bosses. I'm really impressed with the work Pearls has been able to accomplish on the bosses, and we have new ships as well. I won't be going over those today, but they are in there. There are two new game starts that come with Alaankwa being pulled into Star Wars LU, the Alaankwa Corsairs and the Alaankwa Corporation. Alaankwa Corsairs, you cannot buy or sell ships. Well, you can buy used ships, but it's quite a unique game start. It tries to be in the bring a little bit of mayhem to Star Wars LU in a way. Kind of a slow game start though. It's for certain players that like to take a lot of time to do things. Alaankwa Corporation is an advanced game start where you are stepping in as CEO of Alaankwa Corp, and you're trying to survive this harsh reality of interstellar commerce because Fanon is ready to fight you every step of the way. You know, their level, the highest level Fanon can be is what it starts out as, and so they will take out some of your ships here or there. That's okay. That's part of the game, and I really enjoy this. So we're going to go over the Alaankwa Corporation game start today. You can't take out Fanon in the Alaankwa Corp game start. You can, but then they'll come back. You know, at the most difficult level. Just add some flavor to the game, because in my opinion, Fanon is not strong enough now that I've played the game quite a bit. But for someone new, this may be too advanced.
Incoming message. You are being promoted. You are being promoted.
Alright, looks like we have some hotkeys to set. Blueprint data scanner is a new feature. Allows you to scan ships and get blueprints for them, which you can build after 3 scans. You can build in the player headquarters, or prior to 3 or after 3 you can build in a mothership, which was a system ported from Mayhem 2 by SEPA, and SEPA allowed me to include it in Alaankwa. So let's set that satellite monitoring plus, just so we'll have it set. Cheat all of time. That's a save. It allows you to save without having salvage insurance. It didn't make sense to me as a modder that if someone had a bug that they found in their game and they wanted to send me a save game, they had to have salvage insurance to save at that exact point. Otherwise they would have to travel to a factory, and that doesn't make any sense when you're trying to help debug. So I added this cheat all the time. Most people don't really consider it a cheat, but some people do. When you save it though, you notice I did Shift S. It's saying that Shift S is already taken here, so I need to remove this one. Just a little trick. The player console is also important, so let's add Shift P, which takes over pause game. That has been removed for me. Okay. I think that's all we're going to need for now. There's quite a bit of hotkeys to set. So let's save. That was just Shift S, and you can see the cheat now allows me to save as is. One other thing I want to set real quickly. I don't have a keyboard here with the ability to have a numpad. So what you can do is you can go in and say Shift up for north. East would be Shift left arrow key. South is Shift down. And west is Shift right. Also, I like to select the camera mode as 0. zoom in and out, I do shift plus and just plus, or equals, I guess. And I believe that's it. What this allows you to do is, now that you don't have a numpad, you can still look around and see what's going on. See, I'm just using, without the numpad, I'm able to move around and look at my ship using shift and the arrow keys, zoom in and out, change the view, etc. So, as you can see, we start with quite a bit of ships here, and they're already headed out doing something, so I don't even have to worry about these ships. What these are? Miners, yes. You can see their Old Republic is where we're at, and they're set up for mobile mining. So, what does that mean? That means that one of these TLs that I have is set up for mobile mining. As you can see, this TL here is a mobile mining carrier. So these miners are going to go mine, and one of the features of Alaankwa is that they will not, hopefully, kill themselves if you're in sector while they're mining. It used to be an issue in LU that you would go in sector and miners would die, and that was rather annoying to me. So we fixed that, and that's coming out in Star Wars LU 1.3.0. They're going to go mine, then they're going to come back, dump their information, their wares, their mining materials, the crystals, and everything into this mothership. This mothership is not set to do anything, though. And what makes it a mothership, you might ask? Well, if we go in to mobile mining and we look at, where is it? Carrier command software, right here. Any TL that has carrier command software installed becomes a mothership. And what that means is that if you go to the orders command console, go into the special menu, you have two new commands here. Also, Alaankwa adds a self-destruct command. So if you have a ship you want to get rid of, and you don't want to deal with selling it, like you've just captured a tiny fighter, you've already taken the weapons out, you're going to sell them, and you don't want to mess with it, just self-destruct it. Manage wares and manage mothership, though, are your two new ones here. Also, mining fleet carrier, you can restart. So if you add miners to, if you set a miner's home base up to the mothership, then you can hit mining fleet carrier, and it will send a command to all miners that are home based at that mothership that you should start mining for me. And it will reissue that command. So it's real handy if you want to add like 100 miners later to your mobile mining setup. Just put them into a fleet, set the fleet's home base to this mothership, issue this command, and then they'll all start mining. It's really handy. But Manage Wares is a dockware manager, and Manage Mothership is the new SEPA's mod. So Manage Wares allows us to go in and say, we have capacity, threshold, and sources. So let's say this mothership, I want it to go ahead and fill up with energy on its own, if I were to assign a trader to it, for instance. Set group capacity starts at 0, that's fair. But now that I've added this, you can see I have 1,800 energy cells. My capacity is set at 0, which means if I put a selling dockware manager on here, it's actually going to sell off all my energy because I have 1,800, but I expect 0. So what we want to do, is go down, and I want to set 1,800 is nice. I think 5,000 would be even better. So you can see I'm at 36% of my expected capacity. So that means that a freighter will go buy those for me if I set it up. But if you notice, the freight source is there's nothing set. So we're going to go to sources, and you see energy cells here. Let's set it to buy. You can also set it to a dock or a mothership. So in this case, I'm saying, hey, mothership, you need to send me your energy cells to my mobile mining carrier. Or you can get them from the mobile mining carrier. Interestingly enough, I should probably update Alaankwa at some point to remove the ability to select the ship that it's currently running the command on. But that's a minor thing. Good note for the future. But we're going to set it to buy, okay? So now the energy cells are set to buy. We know that we're going to buy up to 5,000 of them. What else do we want to do in here? Let's go to minerals, and we're going to set the group capacity to 0. Energy's still here, as you can see, and we've still got buy, but we've got all these minerals that our miners are going to bring in for us, and we don't want these. So as you can see, the capacity is set to 0. So as we get black crystals in, for instance, we're going to sell them off automatically. One thing I would recommend, hitting not page down, hitting end here on admium will fill up the capacity to the maximum allowed capacity of the mothership. Admium is nice because it is used for building prototype ships in Star Wars LU. So I don't actually want to sell admium. So I'm telling it, keep as much as you can here. Sell the rest of this and buy up to 5,000 energy cells. If I get more than 5,000 energy cells, then sell off the excess down to 5,000. We're just going to double that real quick because 10,000 is a nice number for me. So that's set up. We just set up the Dockware Manager on this mothership, or this mining carrier. So now, mobile mining has a dock agent that is already set up to buy or sell. I did not know I did that. That's really cool. I thought that had to be done by the player, but I have set it up apparently automatically so that it is selling for you, but it is not going to buy those energy cells. So we would need to go buy a UT and set it up for energy cells. It's not really important to have energy cells on the mobile mining carrier, but it is something. So that's an option. Let's move on to the mothership. I guess what I'm trying to say here real quick on mobile mining, it's not going to buy the energy cells because I don't have a trader assigned, which we would call a dock agent. I don't have a dock agent assigned to buy anything for the mining carrier, mobile mining. But I do have a dock agent automatically set, it's set by the game to sell off anything that it has. So there are buying dock agents and selling dock agents. The selling dock agent is working right now, so we won't actually get any energy cells, but that's fine because our UTs don't need to be jumping around. If you're curious how many UTs you can assign, if we go to info, you can see that we can actually have 2 big ships dock here, or 6 fighters. The reason I don't want to have a buyer and a seller dock agent, and I'm just kind of going over this for the purposes of the video, is because there can only be 2 big ships or freighters docked here, right? Well, one of them, we know, is our mobile mining dock agent seller. The other one will be these mobile mining miners.
Miner.
They are technically a big ship or a freighter ship, so they're not fighter class. So you need to leave a dock opening on the mobile mining ship for these to dock. If you had 2 dock agents, they would take up both slots of the dock, and these mining ships could never dock to unload their wares. A little tidbit there. Let's move on to the mothership. Mothership is a mod from SEPA that allows us to build lasers, missiles, shields, and even ships. Anything that can dock at the mothership. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So what we need to do, or what we can see, is we have a dock agent here who is set to buy on the Mothership. So if we go to Mothership, Command Console, and go into Manage Wares, we can do the same thing. Now we definitely want to buy energy on the Mothership, right? Because we have a dock agent. I never thought about that. The mobile miner needs energy too, but it can only dock 2 ships. So in this start, what I would probably do is dock my miner at the Old Republic station, my mobile mining carrier, and buy a bunch of energy cells. And that way I don't have to have a dock agent taking up that one docking spot going and buying energy cells, but I will have energy cells for the dock agent that's selling, because energy cells are used when you jump. When you use your jump drive and go somewhere else in the universe, it uses a certain amount of energy cells depending on how far you jump. In this case, we have a dock agent that is selling for the carrier, the mobile mining carrier, or ship. And so when it will eventually run out of energy cells, and it's going to say, hey, Mothership, give me more, or carrier, give me more energy cells. Well, as long as you have energy cells in the mobile mining carrier, then that's fine. But as soon as you run out, then the trade ship's going to be like, oh, I'm going to have to take the slow route, and it will travel very slowly through the universe gate by gate, and potentially get blown up by pirates and other things. It's just not very safe. Easiest way to fix that is just go buy a whole bunch of energy cells every once in a while. On this Mothership, though, I'm going to do the same thing. No, sorry. Collect my thoughts. On this Mothership, since we have a buyer, we can actually have them buy energy cells. So mobile mining is all about selling. You want to sell off the wares that you've got coming in. Motherships are all about buying. We want to buy as many wares as we can so that we can build these things like lasers and shields and ships. That's why, even though these both look like dock agents, one is a selling dock agent and one is a buying dock agent. And you might be wondering what the difference is. So if you go into the command console of the dock agent, or the ship that you want to be a dock agent, go into trade number 3, you can actually see you can pick it to be a dock agent. So a courier is something you set up to manually do something, kind of like repeat orders in X4. A freighter says go from one player station to another player station, or dock, or mothership, and grab me some wares and bring them back. A dock agent, that is used for trading with AI empires, whether it be a buy or a sell. So if I click on it, it will actually ask me, is this going to buy or sell? It can't do both. So if you want to do both, you need 2 ships. And that's the problem. These motherships can only hold 2 freighters. If you fill up the freighter with 2 of them, then you can't build more freighters, because the mothership can only build what it can dock. And so if it can't dock anything because the docks are full, it can't build anything, because it would have nowhere to put that ship it just built, right? So we want to only fill up 1 out of the 2 of these big ship or freighter slots. That means we cannot have a DA mothership trader buy and a dock agent sell at the same time, because that would take up both slots, and it would defeat the purpose of having the mothership. So let me see if I can illustrate this. Right now we have a dock agent selling. We're going to go into Manage Wares real quick, and I guess we'll take a detour. See how we have a mothership ware group? That loads everything that you could ever need in a mothership. Pretty handy. So energy cells, remember 10,000 is a good starting, 5,000, 10,000 for jump energy. But in a mothership, you're going to want a lot more energy, because energy is used in the factory, the mobile factories. We're going to start with 10,000 for now, just because of funding, or 100,000, I guess. That's fine. You might go with 10,000 depending on how much money you have. How much did I give you to start with? 10 million? Yeah. 10 million's okay, but... and I apologize about my really loud keyboard. I'm in the middle of a move, so I don't have my quiet keyboard ready. So we'll do 50,000. Admiral Akbar cereal, we don't need any. The food is used for laser manufacture, and we're not going to be producing any lasers right now. Warheads are used for missile manufacture. I'm not making any missiles. And the ship manufacturing components. Crystals, motivators, power converters, all that. What I recommend, ore and silicone are going to be used in pretty large amounts. So I would actually take the mothership, and let's see if we can find... We're looking around the map, and I did that with the comma key. I don't know how experienced people are that are watching this. But I'm looking for a... There's an ore depot. I was hoping to find a mineral trading outpost. We haven't discovered one yet. You might be wondering, well, how are you discovering things? The great thing about the start is it has explorers set up automatically for you, vulture droids that go around and start exploring the universe. I don't know if I have a satellite layer or not. Explore universe. One is set to scan asteroids, and one is actually deploying satellites. Good. See, it's all set up for you in this start. It's a good start to kind of learn the complex setups of running an empire at the very beginning with Mothership and the Alaankwa mod. We also have some universal traders, but I think I'm getting distracted here. We were on Mothership. Let's come back to traders. Special command. But one last thing that's easy to forget is it's not going to buy energy because I didn't set my source for energy to buy. And I actually want all of these to buy, even though I don't have them set yet. Now eventually you're going to build Saturn complex hubs, and you might build, you might notice that you're using a lot of, let's say, crystals while you're building weapons and things. And so once you build a crystal Saturn complex hub, you no longer want to buy crystals. So you're going to select the crystal complex hub here in the sources menu, which it doesn't exist yet, so we're going to leave it on buy. And then you would use a freighter instead of a dock agent, because remember, freighters are for internal to your empire. Dock agents are for trading externally with AI empires. So since this is buy, it's set for an external trade, we need to use a dock agent, particularly a buy dock agent. Without further ado, let's jump into the manage mothership and kind of show you what you can do. You can recycle, so if you have a ship docked here, you could actually recycle it and get components back out of it to build more ships. Hangar bay shows you who's docked. You can upgrade ships, paint them, repair them with parts. Production bay, you can make lasers, and as you can see, we have the energy cells, crystals, nerf steaks, Admiral Akbar cereals, or blue milk that's required to build these lasers. I have 0 in the ship, and it would cost me 844 energy, 8 crystals, and 187 nerf steak to build this alpha particle cannon. As you can see, I have the energy cells, but the mothership does not have the crystals or the nerf steak, so I would need to provide those either by manual trading or by using a buying dock agent. I can also set how many of these I want to build. So as you can also see, impulse ray emitters, I have enough energy for 7 of those. But if I want to do 8, I actually don't have enough energy cells to make 8. I can still, I don't know if I can queue it or not, I've never tried. Well, let's just try it. Probably won't. Not yet, it tells you you don't have enough crystals. So I'm assuming this will say not enough energy. Yeah, exactly. Missile production takes energy cells, thermoregulators, and warheads. Of note, you can build chaff, and somewhere in here should be boarding pods. Do. Am I blind or are they just not here? Okay, that will be a fix because boarding pods are supposed to be in here. So I will fix that. But yeah, you can build boarding pods or chaff in here as well, which is pretty helpful. So shield production and ship production. Let's go over the ship production screen. So as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships that I know how to build currently, and if I had a player headquarters, I could also build them there. That's because I have 3 out of 3 blueprint percentages. The blueprint, the first time you use the data scanner, which was a hotkey I set to scan something, you're going to notice that you get 1 out of 3 blueprints. If you want to scan, you can't scan the same ship, but you scan a different ship, again, you'll get 2 out of 3 blueprints. And after the third scan, or owning the after the third scan, I believe you get 3 out of 3, which is the most efficient blueprint you can have. You can build something when you only have 1 out of 3 in the mothership, not the player headquarters. But in the mothership, you can. It will just cost you a lot more resources. So instead of 122 power converters, it's actually a Fibonacci sequence, but it would cost you like 3 times that amount or something, power converters. And then as you get 2 out of 3, it becomes cheaper. And then once you get to 3 out of 3, it's the most efficient way to produce, and it unlocks the full blueprint into the player headquarters. Because we have this Gamestart, with these ships, we have the blueprint for them. I can build miners, transports, traders, longhorns, vulture droids. It looks like it's missing... Oh yeah, I can't build the mothership because the mothership can't dock a mothership, but I believe you also have the blueprint for that. It just won't show up in this list because it can't be docked at a mothership. And let's see, production bay, and we're back to recycling bay. So that is mothership in a nutshell. I wanted to come back to UT changes. So UTs, let's see if I can find my notes on these. They proactively sell off unneeded wares in their cargo bay. So let's say a UT messes up, which shouldn't ever happen these days because of the way Alaankwa modifies UT code. But let's say a UT messes up and you're like, okay, you know what, we need to, or he gets attacked and you had to repair him. You need to restart that command, but he's got 2,000 silicone just sitting there that he's trying to sell. It used to be the UT would continue trading, and if the 2,000 silicone used 50% of his cargo bay, he would just keep it there forever and would only trade with half of his cargo bay. Well, now he'll actively sell off that silicone before moving on to trading. This is also kind of handy because as you start your early empire, you can, cruise up right along next to one of your UTs that's going about his business, transfer all your cargo over using a transporter device, and continue on your way. And the cargo that you transport on the next trade, the trader will say, oh, I got some new stuff, I better go sell it off. And it's a great way to get rid of wares in the early game, just by offloading them to your UTs. If a UT cannot find, a universal trader cannot find any sales, what they'll do, if you have a core sector discovered, and by core sector, this is the period key the comma key brings up your map here. So we know the Old Republic is a border sector. It says security level border. But Weaver's Tempest is a core sector. And all we care about here is that these core sectors, when discovered, if they're not an enemy to you, in which case I'm friendly with the Old Republic, my UT will jump to Weaver's Tempest or another core sector I have discovered that's friendly and begin trading all over again. He won't ask me, he won't tell me, hey, I can't find any trades. He'll just go find them as he can. UTs are also available immediately. So it used to be you would have to take in a a freighter, and you have to find some training space and go train the pilot up to the point that he could start trading around the universe. And I always found that quite tedious. Uh, Unlocking up, I don't like leveling things. I would rather just hire a pilot that can do it. And so what you can do now with UTs is just buy a freighter, say, go trade for me. Now, they're going to start out at the minimum level of a UT trader, right? They're not going to be a fantastic trader, but they will at least trade for you universe-wide. Anywhere that you have player property, and Litcube has a player property setup so that I can't trade. We know there's a sector up here, right, above Preacher's Void, but I haven't discovered it, so my trader's not going to go trade up there. In fact, my universal trader won't even go to Preacher's Void because I don't have any player property in this sector. A satellite or a ship or a factory, something in here would update my trader to say, hey, this solar power plant beta has some wares for sale, and he would come in here, he would jump in here and go trade. But you have to have player property there. That's why it's important to set up satellites, and why we have a satellite deployer here. You can tell there's a new game font that comes. This is an optional install in the installer, which is also new in Star Wars OU. We have an installer now. Thank you, Pearls. I'm running reshade graphics on this. That comes with it as well, but it's not a requirement. And there's just a lot of little minor things that have been changed, but those are the main ones. I wanted to get you started on this Gamestart. We've got the Explorers going, you've got mobile mining going, you've got a mobile mining mothership set with a dock agent to sell off the wares that we set in the mobile mining. Remember, we set those. You have a mothership that's set to buy wares that it needs. And then you have your traders going here, and you have your player Corvette, the Longhorn, that you can gallivant around the galaxy and do whatever you want to do. So it's an advanced start that tries to illustrate how to get things going once you kind of know how to play a little bit, and save you some time. And hope you enjoy it. Star Wars LU 1.3.0 will be released, I feel, pretty soon. And we do appreciate everyone that has submitted bug reports and gone through the beta and helped us with that. We're much obliged. So hope you enjoy it, and thanks for listening to my rambling video about the new game starts.